There is a very broad context for this conflict. There is a context which is related to the situation, so to say, on the spot, in the field. It's a problem related to the status of separatist areas in Georgia and the context of Russia's reaction to this separatism with respect to Georgia. Then it's a broader context of relations between Russia and Georgia, not only with respect to these two separatist regions, but also in a broader sense, including the context which concerns the relations of Georgia with the outside world and Russia's perception of what this would mean from the point of view of Russia's political, security interests and so on. And then there is a even broader context which concerns first of all Russia's perception with respect to its own role, its own position, its own relations with the West, with the United States, its own status in the international affairs, its ability or inability to operate in what Russia considers to be the area of its very natural, very legitimate interests.
Sir, during the discussion period this morning, you mentioned that you wish a more balanced view within Russia concerning the country.
Yes, I wish to have a more balanced view, because what I see nowadays in Russia is something which is very understandable, from many points of view, but which I think creates a little bit unbalanced picture. The predominant focus of most of comments that we have in the country, it is the comments which actually create the impression that Russia has got a serious, very considerable, very important military victory. First, political victory. Secondly, and strategic victory, thirdly. And this third element is very often commented, I think, not very adequately, because this is presented or perceived as something which would create actually a new beginning for the Russian foreign policy and for Russia's interaction with the world. No longer Russia is going to take into account what it is advised by its Western partners. No longer is Russia going to accept to be submissive to the external pressure. Russia will operate only on the basis of its own interests, and if there is a need to protect and to support this interest with some violent means, okay, Russia will do that, as some other international actors do it, as the United States have done this in many other areas, and Russia will not tolerate double standards according to which it could be a subject of some pressure and advices. In any case, it will not tolerate this any longer. I think that this is something which is quite popular in my country on the level of perceptions, on the level of feelings about what should be done by Russia in terms of its international behavior. And I think that this creates a certain inertia which could be counterproductive in terms of Russia's international status, Russia's international behavior. I'm not against, I'm supportive to this idea that double standards should not be addressed to Russia, but I think that it's very important to be cautious, to be balanced, to understand that there are many challenges which Russia cannot respond to when operating unilaterally, and my major concern is that Russia should not repeat the mistakes which have been committed by the United States. after the end of the Cold War, there was the impression that after the end of the Cold War, the United States thought that they're certainly victorious in this conflict, and as the only remaining superpower, they could do whatever they would like to do on the international arena without taking into account the approaches of other international actors and thinking that now they could do whatever they want. Now I think that there is a danger of something similar on a smaller scale, but something similar with Russia being politically consolidated, with Russia being able to operate internationally on the basis of its economic and natural resources potential, with Russia having a political will to exercise influence in its immediate environment, and with many countries being dependent on Russia in terms of energy resources. I think that this could create a kind of exaggerated feeling of what is possible and what is achievable unilaterally.